What's up, everybody? David Lewis with the Catalyst Movement here, continuing our amazing interview series where we try to bring the best and the brightest in the industry and showcase them for everyone in the Catalyst network and everyone who gets to listen to these amazing interviews. Today is no exception. We've got the amazing Blair Knowles. She has the founder of Rain Network, which is something she'll just tell you about in a little bit. Also operates the Ridgeline Real Estate Company in Vermont. I got to connected with Blair through a mutual friend and alumni of the Catalyst Movement interview series, Hallie Warner. And man, I was just blown away at the things that they were working on. And I begged and begged and begged for Hallie. I was like, hey, please connect me with Blair. Please see if Blair would give us some time. And here we are today. Blair, welcome, welcome.
Hey, that's a very nice intro. Thank you. So I always feel like when you're introing, you know yourself best. To tell you guys a little bit about those two companies that David mentioned.
Yeah, please do.
I'm the owner, operator, broker of Ridgeline Real Estate, which is an independent real estate brokerage. I've worked for some franchises and then started my own. It's 5 years old. And we have about 25 agents and three admin staff at our brokerage. So we're kind of like a big team, but we're an independent real estate brokerage and we sell about 100 million a year. It's our fifth year in business. And so we're passing, I'm excited to say, our $500 million in real estate sales. That's always like my big number that I pull out. My
Yes, so
brother-in-law
cool.
was like, there's no way. I'm like, wow. I mean, it's not a, when you get into like house sales numbers, 500 million isn't that crazy.
No, it is. It is. It's an amazing milestone that not a lot of people hit. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
it's true. 26-year-old me would be very impressed with 37-year-old me. And then the other company you mentioned, Rain, is real estate's AI network. So I have done real estate sales. I've done management. I actually am out of production. That was one of my goals. I have two little girls, 1 year old and 3 year old. And as I was coming into having a young family, I personally wanted to be out of real estate production. So I'm a true managing broker. So I don't sell real estate anymore. But in this last year, I've been pulled towards another pivot or an addition, who knows what it is, of I've gotten just really excited and pulled into what AI is doing in the workplace in general, and then how that can be applied to the real estate industry. And I've been leading our agents through that process and kind of had this like, well, let's make it an online community that others, not just within our brokerage, can learn how to implement AI tools, tactics into the real estate business and industry.
Yeah. So AI is such a buzzword at the moment. And it's funny, I get all these like invites to these trainings and these videos and like these webinars, and it's like a 90-year-old guy broker telling me, or man or woman broker, it doesn't matter, the gender ambiguous in this case, but it's very much like, let me tell you about AI and how it can shape your business. And I tell you what, I'm not too excited to learn AI from someone who I don't think knows how to use it. And so I love that you've kind of focused on it and made it a passion, because I think there's a lot of things that like we're calling AI that aren't actually AI. And I think the things that are actually AI and the way it can actually supplement and really help your business, people aren't actually focusing on. So tell me, like, what was your journey into understanding AI a little bit better?
Yeah, there's so much to unpack with what you just said there. My journey, I hope my journey will actually be an inspiration for people because I really didn't get excited about AI or start diving deep into it until February of this year. And now I kind of consider myself an expert. I mean, granted, it's basically all I've done every day and every spare moment outsourced. I mean, I actually paid someone a salary to do more of my work at the brokerage so I could spend more time on AI. But that being said, I really only became an enthusiast early this year. So you can do a lot of catch up really quick, especially because things are changing in AI literally daily, weekly. I mean, it is like you learn a tool and then a new tool comes out that's better and makes the first tool irrelevant or obsolete. They might have to catch up and maybe you'll use it again. So my journey started when I read a paper and it was called, I think it's called AI 2027. It was written by an ex OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. It researcher, and it was about predictions for where AI will be in 2027. And lots of people make these, but as I was reading it, it just really clicked and felt so real. And you would work through 2025 and you could see it happening, some of these predictions. And I got to 2027 and I was like, this is happening and it's happening fast. And if I'm not jumping on, there's so much scare. I hate any AI training that starts with, if you're not paying attention to AI, you're going to be left in the dust. AI is going to take our jobs. I don't think AI is taking our jobs, but I really do think people that lean in and learn how to use it are going to take the jobs from people who don't, because it really does just make you so much faster, more competitive, especially in the world of marketing. So that's a little bit about my journey. I read a paper and I got crazed.
That's awesome. And I love that. And what's crazy is that like most people who are very proficient in AI and are using it, they all just learned about it because it's not something that was like it's it's grown so quick and it's evolved so fast that I had lunch with someone, it was probably 6 months ago, and they were saying like, "Hey, I want to run this business idea by you." And they're like, this company, and we've invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars into building this software, which can basically take your contracts and take all the data from it. It stores the data, but also to like handles transaction coordination, creates like the what important dates and all of that.
Mhm.
And I was like, and I said, "Hey, man, like, I respectfully like, I think you're too late."
Yeah, you kind of average GPT user can create a GPT to do that now.
Well, this is my proof of concept because I
Yeah,
would consider myself a below average GPT user. And I went in and I actually created the same. I mean, I'm sure there's some, I'm not trying to downplay what he built. Like there's some intricacies that I didn't, but I created 85% within an hour and a half.
nice.
And I am the target audience for someone who is like really bad at this stuff, right? I'm not tech savvy, I'm not AI savvy, but I wanted to kind of test case. And you're exactly right. Like it was, so it's all evolved really, really quickly.
Yeah. And it keeps doing it. Like, so one of my favorite things to help people get going is to tell them my top 3 to 5 favorite tools and how I'm using them. Because the tricky thing is, like, with the spending hours and hours on this, is so much of it is really cool and shiny and incredible and mind blowing. But the question I'm always asking is, what's the real estate use case? And a lot of times there's not one, or there's not one that's big enough to warrant paying a $50 a month subscription for the tool plus investing several hours a week to learn how to use it. It's like you can make it do something kind of interesting with real estate, but not necessarily big enough to take your time and attention to go do that rather than networking. I mean, one of the big concepts that came out of, I went to Housing Wire's conference in Dallas a couple of months ago, and one of the big concepts that really was an aha moment for me at that conference is that the average real estate agent's business is 70% SOI and past clients and referrals from those categories. So you can spend all these hours trying to figure out how to be the top person who shows up in AI search online, but is that really going to move the needle for you more than going out and being belly to belly with your sphere of influence and your past clients? And I mean, I think the answer is yes to both. You're like, you got to do both. You got to learn the new AI stuff, but you can't spend all of your time doing that and not paying attention to what we know has worked in the business for decades in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah. Streamlining the things that, I've taught a couple of classes where like my role, they're AI classes, but I will bring on someone from an AI company, and my my role in the class is the everyman, right? Like to bring the AI expert back down to reality for a second to slow it down because most of us in the room don't have that. And I always say, like, make a task list of everything that you're doing on a daily basis or that you're paying people for, and just simply go through and look for 3 items that AI could do for you. whether it be creating a listing report or creating a marketing report or sending an email or writing an email, like whatever it is, like just slowly start looking for tangible things that can be taken off your plate. And
Yeah.
then it grows, right? Because it's not just about new things, like you were saying, it's also about making you more efficient and effective in the tasks that you're currently doing, client reach out and touching your database and all that stuff. So I love that you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about what I call like time collapse. So AI is huge for time collapse. Can you take things that you previously did that took you a day or a week and make them into an hour? Like one of my examples is I write a newsletter weekly that goes out to my entire board of realtors, and it is primarily a recruiting tactic. I give away new tools, I talk about AI, I talk about industry standards that are changing. Like we just had some forms change. So I give like a summary of it. I kind of play like broker to our whole community of 700 brokers in our board of realtors. And I just send them all my newsletter. And I consider it a very high content newsletter. And people ignored it for a while and then they really started paying attention because it's got good content in it. It used to take me a full day to write it, and now I write it in an hour. And I mean, I think a lot of people use ChatGPT or an LLM of their choice for writing. So that one's not like a big, like shiny wow, but I think everyone should be using an LLM to help with their writing. And I know that's a contentious point, but I do it. I definitely do it. And everybody who says they don't do it, okay. Like, I always get like the English teacher who's like, my grandmother would roll over in her grave if she knew you were using AI to help you write. I mean, as long as you've got that human in the loop, you're telling it what you want to write about. You're uploading the forms and being like, pull out the 5 things. And then you're afterwards also editing. It's like you up front, AI in the middle, you after AI. I think that's great content.
Pretty efficient and it's effective. And it's, you're like you said, it's still being authored by you. The concepts are being created by you. So yeah, I'm right there with you. So talk to me. So you stumbled on AI, you got obsessed with it, you're digging into it, and you're looking for those tactical, like real things that like or can be used and applicable in the real estate world.
Yeah.
One thing that, like, when I was reading over the stuff that you guys are doing was this whole, like, concept of traction versus theory.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, because it seems to be kind of a core concept of, like, your mindset around AI, like, break it down for me and for the listeners.
Yeah. So I go back to that like every time I hear about a new tool and I'm spending time evaluating it, I'm always evaluating it through the lens of, but why? Is it worth it in the real estate industry? And that's where, like, with the AI trainings, I hate theory trainings. I want to go into a training and have the AI instructor tell me about the tool and how they use it. Like, advertise to me the use case first. And that's why I like one of my favorites is trainings is just what's the tool and how do I use it in the real estate industry. So I always tell people it's rotating, but here's my top 3 or 5 and they change. So like right now, my top 3 is an LLM of your choice. GPT, Grok, Perplexity. I don't care which one you like and use. Great, use it. Some people like to use one and then pull it into another, like Claude is better at this. So I use Claude for this and I use GPT for this. Great, fine, whatever. Use one. Second tool, Wispr Flow. Have you ever heard of this one? Do you use it?
No. What Whisper Flow?
Wispr Flow. It's so simple, but it's mind blowing. It's amazing. It's a speech to text tool like Siri on the phone. I tell people it's like Siri, but it doesn't suck. It's
There you go.
so good. So I primarily use it on desktop. You download it, you integrate it, and then you have a shortcut key on your keyboard. And I just hold the key down and I talk and then all of the text appears on my screen. It does the typing for me. I basically don't type anymore. And it's made me so much more efficient at responding. So you can use it in email, you can use it to write your Facebook captions, you could do it in Google Drive, anywhere that you can type. You can use this shortcut, this Whisper Flow, and it will do the typing for you. When I say it doesn't suck, not only does it not suck, it's really good. So, like, I can be talking and say, wait, I didn't mean that. And then I can start the sentence over and it cuts out the part that I didn't want to include. And includes what I do want to include. It'll do bullet points. If I'm like, I'm thinking about these 5 things, it bullet points them. If you change names, like I've got an agent at my brokerage whose name is Tracy, spelled Tracie. And first few times it writes it Y, I edit it, and it picks up on that, and then for the rest of time writes it the way, and it has like a little database of words that it's changed based on my preferences. You can use it on the phone too. The problem on the phone is that if you don't have a stable internet connection, it doesn't work well. And then just like like the Giphy keyboard, like where you can swap to like get a Giphy, like an image, you have to swap over to the Wispr Flow keyboard, and I find that cumbersome. So between this the cell service and the keyboard switch, I don't actually find myself using it on my phone a bunch, but I use it on my computer every single day. And personally, I think a lot of realtors are like this. I can process a lot faster verbally than I can through written text. It's funny, Hallie, who you mentioned, who's our connection, she's like, don't take away my keyboard. Like I like my keyboard. I process better that way. I'm faster that way. Not me. I've found that I reply to more emails. I give more context. Like I manage the leads at our brokerage, and I will see a lead come in and I'll see that they looked at a property 5 times and they came in on this certain property. And I used to just forward the lead. Like I did not have time to explain what was going on and what I saw and why I picked the agent. And now I just hold down the button, say 3 sentences and I hit send. So it is amazing. I love it. I'm going to send you a link after this.
Yeah,
Everybody,
please do.
it's like people that start using this tool primarily come back to me and they're like, this is a game changer. It sounds so simple, but it's really great.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
what are some other applications that like you found that are just universal home runs for the
Yeah.
real estate industry?
Love that question so much. So here's 2 more. Nano Banana, which is also Gemini 2.5 Flash. If that's like sounds overwhelming, if
It
you have
does. For the
it does.
record, it does sound overwhelming. I'm like,
Okay,
I
it's not.
cool. I'm like, thumbs up. That sounds none of that makes any sense. It's gibberish.
You share your podcasts on YouTube. Do you want to see it in action?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You do? Okay, do I have permission to can I share my screen on here?
Well, now you're getting I told you I was not tech savvy,
That's
so
cool. I'm just gonna try and I'm gonna see if it lets me.
bringing
Okay,
out
hang
your
on, hang on,
Google.
hang on. Blair can do this. Stay with us, people. It's gonna blow your mind, I promise.
That's right. That's right. And we can always
This is what I want you to see. So you see my Google now, right?
right.
So this is much easier if you have Google Workspace, which is a paid Google account for Gmail. Do you have that? Is your Gmail through Google?
It is.
Is it paid?
Yes.
Great. That like a lot of us have that. If you don't, you can go to Nano Banana, and Nano Banana it's Google bought it and they incorporated it in their Gemini, which I'm signed in, so it took me right there again anyway. But if you do not have Google Workspace, you're just going to type in Nano Banana. You're going to be able to find it and use it for free. The problem is if you don't have Google Workspace, you can only do so many of these a day.
Mm,
And it's an image generator and image editor. So you can edit images and you can generate images in ChatGPT, right? But the problem with doing them in ChatGPT is that the AI in ChatGPT, OpenAI, will still change other parts of the image. So I'm just going to pick, I just need a house picture. House picture. Okay, great. This is like your quintessential house picture. If you put this into ChatGPT and ask it to edit the picture, it will edit like windows and walls. It will substantially change the structure of the picture. If you're using Gemini, and this is why it's so powerful for real estate agents, it leaves the picture exactly the same and it just makes the edits you want it to. So, say you did a photo session and in the past, you have a luxury listing and you want to get twilight photos of that listing. Well, you would have to send your photographer back out at twilight. You'd have to ask your sellers to park their cars on the street. You would have to find a clear evening and you're going to pay your photographer $250 to go back out. You're probably only doing this for luxury listings. I just had a real estate agent at our firm do twilight photos for a mobile home yesterday. Like now you can do it for free with no orchestration. So I just put this image in, put any image you want, and I'm going to give it the prompt and say, Can you make this a twilight photo? Give it a warm, cozy feel with light coming out of the windows at nighttime. That was me using Wispr Flow to talk to it, and now it's going to take the image and it's going to change it into a twilight photo. It's really fast. So, like, also editing images in GPT or other LLMs, it takes a long time. Like, look how fast that was. Not bad. So there's your twilight photo of the house, and you notice it didn't change the house at all. It didn't change the landscaping at all. It just made it a twilight image. Cool, right?
That's so awesome and super usable.
Yes, and there's, like, you can do so much. So I just showed you twilight photos. You can say you got photos taken and the neighbor's truck was parked in the driveway and it's bright red and it's, like, just throwing off the whole vibe of the image. Can you remove the truck from the photo? Can you remove the dog in the background? I once had a photo shoot where the dog was like up on the window. We couldn't get it to go away. We had to send the photographer back out to get that one room over again. Now you can just edit stuff right out. Um, I've also seen agents use it to show the vision, like replace the carpets with hardwood floors. And you're not going to market it that way, but you might show it to your buyers and they might really be able to see how this property would look different with a couple of edits. You can change seasonality. So you can say, the grass is really patchy. Can you make it look like the grass is grown in? Instead of a winter photo, we took these last year in the winter. Can you make this an early spring photo? It's shockingly good.
That's awesome, and getting better day by day.
Yes. Virtual staging. That's another one. Just pop in your empty room and say, can you stage this with a bedroom set? It's so good. I used to try and spend a lot of time on this in GPT, but like I said, the problem was it would change the image. So it would move a door, it would change the light fixture, and you don't want the house to change, right? You just want to do your marketing. You can also ask it to include a little note in the bottom saying, twilight photos provided by AI. That you can make the disclosure. We're not trying to hoodwink anybody with this,
Right.
trying to show the possibilities with AI.
Yeah. The nice green grass
Yeah, yeah.
may not be representative of the actual home. Yeah, no, no, I love that, and it is such a practical use, and there's so many instances like this that we used to pay someone $40,000 a year to go in Canva, drag one picture over to a just listed, just sold to edit these photos, and you'd pay for the software, you would pay for the person, and like, man, like, it's wild how, I mean, essentially what you're saying, like, if you were a luxury agent and you were doing this on every one of your photos, this could save you, I mean, $500 a month at least, like, it's wild the impact on your business and your bottom line by embracing this.
Yep.
And we're in this world where, like, I can be doing this and know how to, and the agent down the street just doesn't know it exists, and they're still spending that money. Like, we're still in that world where everyone hasn't embraced it, so you really do get a leg up
Very
by
much,
leaning into it.
very much so.
Yeah, this is amazing. So outside of this, what's another practical application? Because this is pretty mind-blowing. Like, this is awesome. Oh,
Showing this one because anything that's visual, I think it's very easy to like quickly understand, like, wow, yeah, I could use that. Um, Another one I love, so you actually got to see me use Whisper Flow there briefly when I asked for the instructions. I didn't type those out. I just held down my shortcut key. But while we're rolling, might as well come over here and show you another one I love is called Gamma. So I'll just give you a little insight here. You can create landing pages like for marketing with Gamma. You can create lead magnets. You can create presentations. So you can see some of the presentations I've been creating for my community. Like if you've ever created a presentation in Canva before, oh my gosh. Personally, I think Gamma is so much faster and better. It does it all for you. You are not moving boxes around. You're not typing text. Let me see if I can make one for you really fast. So I'm going to create new. I'm going to choose paste in text, and you're going to see me use two different tools together. So I'm going to go over here to Chat GPT, and we're just going to do a new chat. I'm going to say, I want to create a home buyer. I'm going to create, we're going to do like a home buyer appointment slide deck. I want to go through the closing costs in a typical transaction. I want to go through the steps of the home buying process. I want to do a question and answer page where I can enter in my own Q&A questions and answers to help me train the buyer on a couple different aspects of the home buying process. Now, I already have a buyer presentation, right? But I am showing you how you can use two different tools together. So I'm now going to tell ChatGPT, can you create a mock up outline for this home buyer presentation for me? I would spend so much more time on this if I was actually creating my buyer presentation this way. But let's just grab it now. So I'm going to create its mock up. Yeah, huh, nice. It's doing like, how should I, my Q&A is how much should I budget for a down payment? 3 to 20%. Great. Okay, so it did 5 questions. We're going to go ahead and grab those 5 questions from GPT. And then I'm going to come back over to Gamma. I'm going to paste in my text from GPT, and I'm going to choose that. Yeah, default's fine. So you can choose, like, just to give you a quick overview, you can also do web pages, documents, social posts. You can do portraits or stories, but I'm going to stick with presentation right now. And then you can choose generate from notes or an outline, or preserve the exact text, or summarize long text or document. I'm going to say generate from notes or an outline, which is giving Gamma permission to be an AI, to also to take what I gave it from GPT and expand on it. So I'm using 2 AIs right now to create. Continue to prompt editor. So now we do like the design piece. And it's just wild, like, how fast you can create these things. I prefer minimal text for everything because I think most people don't want to read a lot off of a screen, but you could do extensive text right for you're telling it who the audience is. It auto populates first time and repeat home buyers. Good enough. I like it, but you can change your audience. Clear, professional, approachable, client focused. I could say I want the tone to be, I'm going to say, and a little funny because I'm just not that serious.
There you go.
Yeah, you can import your own theme. Like, this is my theme from Rain, the community I'm creating. So it's like, whether you like it or not, I'm just going to keep it. And then you can choose your art style. So photorealistic, abstract, 3D. You can say, like, if you want your own, you can say like superhero comic book. I've seen people use that a lot. Whatever you want. I'm going to choose photorealistic for the sake of time. I'm moving fast, and I'm going to hit generate. This tool is totally free. I haven't talked about cost at all. I pay $20 a month for my Chat GPT account in order to have the ability to create custom GPTs and to set reoccurring tasks. So I do pay for that, but there's a lot you can do for free. Wispr Flow you can also do for free. But if you use it a certain amount, it'll cut you off for the month and you have to pay to use it more. So I do pay for Wispr Flow because I use it so much. And then Gamma, I haven't hit my level yet of what it lets me do for free. So try it out. Like, there's so much, everything I've mentioned today, there's a lot you can do with the free level. So
Wow.
here it is. Yeah. Your home buying journey starts here. It picks the images for you, what to expect today, understanding closing costs, the home buying process, your questions, answers, and next steps together. What are closing costs? And, like, you can come in and edit any of this text. You can edit the image with AI. Like, say I don't like this. Maybe I say, like, I want this to be a more Vermonty looking house. I could say, can you make this house look more like something you would find in Vermont, maybe like a farmhouse? And it will change just that image and the presentation for me. I personally like that a lot better, like image generation with AI, as opposed to having to go and searching through stock photos for something that I
Right.
would. It's just faster.
Yeah, because you can always, like, because it doesn't always get it right the first time, but you can always say, "Try again, try again, try again."
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's yeah, it's a little closer, and you can revert, like you see here, I can go back to the original if I don't like what it did. Um, yeah, so and you can add cards if you wanna add a card in between something, you can paste in your own text, you can paste in your own images, but it creates the whole outline for you so fast. It's really incredible,
that's
and
one. And like again, like just to put it in perspective, this is something that previously we either would have spent, if you're me, hours trying to create, right? Or I would have paid someone a salary to spend their time on it. But this is something that now you can do what would 4 minutes of total invested time, and that's because you're explaining it. Like it probably if you weren't explaining it, it probably would have taken you 45 seconds.
yes. And you can customize it now too, like if I know I've got a first time home buyer coming in as opposed to repeat, or I know that they are looking at a specific area, there's just, you can make it so fast and it really feels like there's a lot of agents that haven't caught up with AI yet, but the average person really hasn't caught up with AI yet. So the wow factor when you do stuff like this and you create for them, I mean, you saw how fast I made that. And if someone feels like you've customized it for them, how different of a presentation is that than the average person who's going in with their paper packet that they use for everybody?
Yeah, that's amazing. And thank you for sharing those applications with us because I think I to your point, the traction, not theory, like the tangible things that you can do is what really moves the needle for people because everyone knows that AI exists. Everyone knows that AI is here. Everyone knows that they should be looking into it, but most people just don't know where to start. I heard someone recently from a stage say, just start talking to it. Every day, spend 15 minutes in dialogue
Yes.
talking to your AI just to get it to have a healthy understanding of like your tone and what you want to, and it doesn't matter what you talk about. Like it just, and I thought that that was really practical.
I love that. When people are wondering how to get started, I heard someone once say instead of going to Google, go to ChatGPT with all the questions you would ask Google. And I thought that was like that's a really good entry point. And then my second add-on to that, if you're trying to catch up to where some others are, my second add-on would be choose one thing, whether it's a daily newsletter or a daily podcast about AI, and subscribe and listen 20 minutes a day because you're going to start to hear. At first, it's really overwhelming because you hear so much new language like vibe coding, and you've probably heard me say some of it, grok, perplexities, comet, and you're like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But if you're doing 20 minutes a day, you quickly are going to get caught up. And when you hear these things like Gamma, Wispr Flow, Nano Banana, Gemini, at least you can speak the language and it doesn't feel so overwhelming. It's like, yeah, I know what they're talking about. And then you can start to parse out which of these things are applicable to my business. Or, I mean, you said okay to promote. I really do think it's so much. It's why I'm creating this community, Real Estate's AI network, RAIN, because I think a lot of people are going to choose that they want to invest in some training from somebody who has done a lot of vetting of like what is applicable to the real estate industry and what should I be paying attention to and learning. So that's the whole concept behind the community that I am launching in late October, early November, is providing these trainings of applicable, short, tangible, how do I put it into my business right now?
Yeah. No, it's so powerful. And I appreciate your time explaining it too. Well, walk me through the future. Give me your AI in 2027 breakdown since you were so inspired when someone else did it. Give it to me for the real estate world. Give it to me for in general. Like, tell me what's, we always say the robots are coming. No, seriously, the robots are coming. Like, tell me how fast they're coming. Tell me how quickly. Like, tell me your thoughts.
Think that within the next year, that in terms of the marketing package you can put together, people that are using AI versus people that are not is going to drastically, you're going to be able to see the difference. I think also by like the end of 2026, the way that I didn't get into this too much, but the way that people search online is changing. We're using AI quite a bit more. Like Google just rolled out Google AI, where you can search in AI mode. It's like right there if you haven't seen it on the Google bar, and you can swap over to AI.
And it's interesting because you used to pay a fortune for sponsored links, and
Yes.
now the sponsored links are below the AI generated answer. So if
Yes.
you can find a way to engineer, like, I mean, this is something that's talked about a lot in the real estate AI space, but if you can find a way to engineer David Lewis is the best realtor in Atlanta, Georgia, into their answer, there's, you know, like there's, I'm sure they'll eventually find a way to monetize that, but right now it's a little bit of a cheat code because you do actually get bumped above the people who are paying lots of money for the sponsored links.
It's a huge cheat code. It's like, and it's not very hard yet. Like, I expect it's gonna get harder. It's gonna have to, and they're gonna have to monetize it. But, at our brokerage, we spent maybe 5 hours tweaking some things, and we used to not show up at all in our hometown. We're Williston, Vermont. I would put into ChatGPT, "Who's the best real estate firm to help me sell my home in Williston, Vermont?" And the first time I put that in, we didn't even show up, and now we consistently always show up, and we're often answer number 1. It does AI is interesting because it will change its answer. It's not always the same each time you put in the same question, but we will consistently show up in its 5 responses, and we just made a couple of little tweaks. Going into what those tweaks are and how you show up is like another hour-long training.
Right.
I can't get through all that in this podcast, but I think that is a huge change that we're going to see. Is people are going to need to learn to figure out how to show up in agentic search as opposed to search engine optimization like Google and
Yeah.
Bing search.
Marketing via AI, right? Not, and I don't mean creation of marketing. I mean, like you said, showing up and getting up the pole position and getting the number one spot.
Yeah. And then content creation, we've all heard content is king. So whether that's blogging, social media, YouTube videos, I mean, the realtors that are leaning into AI are going to have systems and speed to do that content creation. So they're going to slowly take that little chunk of business and their business will grow and grow and grow and grow for the people who are out there searching for, I need a realtor, as opposed to already knowing who their realtor is.
Yeah. What are you the most excited about? What right now when it comes to AI in your business or AI in general? I mean, obviously you're about to launch this amazing network of tangible tips and tricks in a community of people who are trying to embrace it. But yeah, what's the most exciting thing for you coming into the next year?
I am so excited that AI really, if you choose to lean in, it levels the playing field in a way that I feel like has never existed before. Like when I was an up and coming agent, that first step of hiring an assistant was so monumental. And I see a lot of people never get there. To add a full time salaried person to my payroll to get that leverage was a really big leap of faith. And I was able to do it because I was young and renting a spare room in my duplex that I had bought and like putting all of my money back towards building and growing my business. But it was a time and place in life. Like right now with having 2 kids, like it's a very different time and place in life. And if I was having to start right now and hire an assistant from square one, that would be way harder to do. And AI really levels the playing field in that so many people who in the past didn't have leverage now have leverage. Like, I think those roles that the admins, the secretaries, they've in the past not had leverage and now they do. I get a little bit feminist about this because 70% of administrative roles are women and 70% of C-suite and executive roles are men. If you look at the data, I do think a part of that is because women go through these childbearing years where there's this whole patch of time that they are primarily caregivers and that does set them back in their career. Like as somebody who is going through that time in life right now, and I have amazing leverage and support and community that I'm not set back in my career, but I see where many, many women are because they choose to take that time with their family, which is great. But then they kind of get pigeonholed into this box of roles that are available to them because they took time out of their professional lives that there is no leverage. And now AI is like everybody can have leverage. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone, I mean, it's essentially everyone gets an assistant.
Yes.
And it really is, like, that's not like an overreach, like, that is these are the things, like, the things that you just did are the things that I, in the past, running a real estate team that sells, 200 plus homes a year, have paid a full-time employee to do. And it really is something that, like, when you're tasked with that, like, let's say you're on an administrative role, or, like, and this is like right in Hallie's world, where like you're running, maybe you're running the whole, you're director of operations, you're running the whole operational ship. Now, instead of having a full-time employee, like, you can just utilize the tools in front of you. Saves you time, saves you energy, saves you people problems. There's a lot of things. And I think too, the people that are in those, and I don't like the term secondary positions, because I think that, something Hallie and I talked a lot about on the podcast was, when done right, that quote unquote admin role can actually be a leadership role, right? Like, you can actually embrace that in this space, because you're going to have to sharpen your skills and tools. Like, it's funny, you still get, like, if you go on Indeed and you get resumes for a role, it just says, you know, proficient in typing, right? It used to be like, I can type this many words a minute. I can type this. Eventually, that new world of hireability, the world of hireability, is going to be proficient in creating AI. You know what I mean? Like, that is going to be the new currency in being hired. And there's something very empowering about that too, because like you said, it's not, if someone in a secondary quote unquote position embraces it, they can, sky's the limit for what they can do and create.
Yeah. My second in command here at our brokerage, we have been working together for almost 10 years, which is really cool. I like for him, it's exciting too, because he hasn't had like the assistant before. And now, I mean, I hear him in there like he's working on higher level projects because we are able to like collapse the time that we have to put into getting the some of the mundane work done, and then there's room for other stuff. Like he's trying to vibe code an app in there, and I'm like, but he's getting everything else done too. So it's I think it's really exciting for that reason for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then on the further side too, like you're talking about, like, if you came to me and were like, hey, David, like, we have this idea, we want to build an app, or we want to build some sort of like software around it. 3 years ago, there's zero chance I could help you. But now, with all the advancements in AI, like, someone who doesn't really know what they want to do but has a vision for it can actually in real time create coding and create software and create these things and develop things that they could never do before. They really get to be that conductor, where before the conductor had to go to a series of developers who would take their idea and put it into practice and come back to them. That's all real time. That's all happening in like days versus weeks. And it's really, really wild to see it all take place.
Yeah, well said.
Very cool. Well, Blair, you are the absolute best. This has been game changing. I love that you took the time to kind of break down some of these really useful tools that, like, I know everybody in our community can implement immediately. And I know that there's like 1,000 things that, like, you didn't even get to talk about or scratch the surface on. And I just appreciate you giving us those. We'll make sure everyone knows where to find you. We'll make sure that they have access. And when you launch Rain officially, we'll make sure to celebrate it, and make sure everyone can find it. But other than that, like, where can people find you? Like, where, like, and we'll make sure we have links to everything. But like, if someone was like, I was so blown away by Blair, I want to pick her brain, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, great question. And I'll send you. I think Hallie put together a guide for talking about scratching the surface. We did a training on that AEO, which is how to be found. It's answer engine optimization, generative engine optimization, how to be found when someone types into AI, who's the best real estate agent in my area. So I will send you that guide.
That'd be awesome. I can share it with everybody.
Yes. The best places to find me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I would say if you're interested in the AI stuff, I have a Facebook group. It is private. You have to ask to join, but we accept you. I just want to make sure we're getting the right audience, which is real estate professionals interested in AI. And it's called Real Estate's AI Network, RAIN. So you can connect with me there. You can connect with me on my personal profile on Facebook and ask to be added to that group if you can't find the group. And then I kind of lightly use Instagram. I always try to, I'm like, I need to be using it, but it's not my main spot. And people can always DM me or shoot me an email. It's Blair at therainagent.com. So
Perfect.
connect any of those ways.
That's awesome. Oh, we thank you for sharing so much. Thank you for giving back to your community and the Catalyst community so much today. And we're looking forward to the rolling out of Rain and hopefully getting more and more tips and tricks from you over the months to come.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Awesome.